Friends, what if you get a chance that by pressing one of your buttons, the people of this whole world will disappear and this whole world will be yours? Then what? You will press this button. This is a science fiction comedy web series named The Last Man on Earth. In this story it is shown that the film is. He is the last man left on Earth, who travels all over America with a bus so that he can find a single survivor. He is in every city. Goes in and there is a cross sign on the map of every city because he can't find any people in his place, and the whole map is filled with cross signs. He steals valuables and paintings from everywhere and fills them in his van, and when he can't find a human foot anywhere, so he decides to return to his hometown of Tucson. And making one last attempt, he writes an "Alive in Tucson" on every board on the road to come, so that if any remaining person reads it, he can come to him. Phil Miller comes to the village and chooses the biggest house of his village to live in. And then he starts getting stolen things and paintings, and he remembers his family. And in the night he apologizes to God for his actions and asks for a girl's lap to be with him. And then he goes shopping in the morning in his underpants, and then he breaks the glass of the supermarket with a pistol. Because no one can see him, so he does whatever he wants. He does everything that a normal person can't do. He drops huge can boxes inside the supermarket, and brings to his house expensive wine and too many adult movie videos. In a few days, he had forgotten the living conditions of humans and civilization. He started bowling in the streets and breaking lamplights, and his time would have passed by colliding with big luxury vehicles. He also celebrates his birthday alone and remembers his family members, how he used to celebrate his birthday with them. He was alone. There was no one with him to take away his loneliness. He used to ask God for a girl for himself every night. In the same way, a time of 5 months passes, then the garbage starts piling up inside that person's house. And he wasn't even interested in cleaning it up, he just lets it lie. Used to bath in expensive liquor and then used to drink it just like little children do. Moreover, he had made a hole in his swimming pool on a wooden board. He started using it as a toilet. And he had made faces on many balls, and he used to talk to them. And during the night he used to spend his night looking at the statue of a girl. He used to think about the girl and sex all the time. Once he kisses the girl's statue, but breaks his hand, and along with his hand, the heart of the actor is also broken. After some time, he makes up his mind to die and apologizes to his friends for giving up. And he tells them that you guys are not human, and then he is about to hit his car with a very big stone that he sees that someone has lit a fire in the forest, whose blessings are visible to him. Then he feels that other than him, someone else is alive there. Then he goes to the smoke where he gets to see something that he wanted to see, where he sees a girl's bra hanging. Then he starts to smell her bra and then he faints. Then he sees that a beautiful girl is kissing him, only then he really comes to his senses. Then he sees that a girl is kissing him who is not beautiful but is much older than him. He learns that she is giving him CPR because she thinks the actor is dying. He immediately turns himself away from the girl, and the actor asks her to the girl, "Where did that beautiful girl go?" Then the girl, whose name is Carol, says that your underpant is wet. Then the actor says that I did not did this underpant wet. Seeing this, Carol takes out the gun, and then Phil Miller believes that he wet his pants. Carol tells her she's here looking at the Alive in Tucson board. In this way, Miller used to ask God for a girl every day, but when the girl is in front of him today, he is not so excited. And then Carol goes with her to see her house. On the way, Phil Miller does not obey the traffic rules. In such a situation, Carol asks him to follow the traffic rules and tells her that we should stop at the traffic light. Miller stops at a traffic signal to make Carol feel good and looks around for a while, but in that whole area there was no one except them. Then he moves on. Carol is shocked to see Miller's house. There were 2 swimming pools in Miller's house. One he had made a toilet, and one he had made a place to throw garbage. Carol also accuses him of stealing the paintings. And when she asks him about the magazines, he clearly tells that all these magazines are of porn, which he used to watch in his spare time. Then he drops Carol from where he picked up. The next day, when Carol wakes up, she sees that Carol is cleaning her house. Then he tells Carol that one should ask him before cleaning his house. This angers Carol. She starts throwing the garbage back. Miller stops him. Then after that, these people go to the shopping mall. She tells Carol Miller not to park your car in the handicap parking lot. On this, Miller says that there is no one left in this world except us. So what does it matter where we are parking the car? But Carol does not agree, asks her to park the car at the right place. Miller gets angry and he parks the car inside the supermarket. During the night, Miller goes home and complains to his ball friends about Carol. The next day, when Carol comes to live in the house next to her, Miller stops her. And when she doesn't stop, Miller unbuttons his pants so that Carol considers him rude, and she walks away. But Carol starts talking to her. Phil stops her. But when Carol does not stop, he puts on his pant. Carol felt that God had chosen him and Miller to run this world. But Miller says that even if you are the last woman in this world, then I will not have sex with you. And saying this, he leaves from her. Carol goes to Miller when he is toileting. Carol asks Miller for help in bringing water to her yard, so that he can grow fresh vegetables. But Miller does not tell him clearly. Then Carol starts teasing her by eating fresh tomatoes in front of her. Still, Miller refused to bring water. Then Carol also leaves. At night, the Miller goes to the fields and blooms all the tomatoes. Then in the morning Carol goes to Miller's house and sees that all the clothes of Miller are covered with tomatoes. But Miller still convinces him that he should not eat tomatoes. Miller notices that Carol's leg is hurt while trying to fetch water. The next day, Miller sees that Carol was turning the pool into a toilet just like he did by putting wood in it. Then Carol told him, "You were right. We were not chosen by God to run this world. When we can't bring water to our house, so how do we run this world?" This seems to be in Miller's heart, and he removes the hassle of bringing water from the city tank to Carol's house. Carol is very happy to see this, and invites her for dinner at night, where both people enjoy the dishes made from fresh vegetables. Carol says, "You showed me your pants off. Maybe God wants us to take this world forward." Miller also agrees this time, and says it's okay. But Carol says that without marriage we cannot have children, both of us have to get married. Miller first agrees, then agrees. This is where episode 1 ends. If you like this explanation, then please subscribe this channel and press the bell icon.